Let's be honest for a second. Life is a lot right now. Between the endless notifications, the emails that could have been meetings, and the general chaos of existing in the 21st century, our brains are basically operating with 40 tabs open, and 3 of them are playing music we can't find. Most people think happiness is this distant destination, something you get once you finish your degree, get the promotion, or finally figure out how to fold a fitted sheet. Seriously, does anyone actually know how to do that? But what if I told you that happiness isn't a destination? It's a neurochemical state you can trigger in less time than it takes to microwave a burrito. Today we're looking at 3 simple brain hacks to hack your happiness in 15 seconds. These aren't just think positive fluff pieces. This is pure psychology, simplified. And stick around, because the 3rd hack is so ridiculously easy that you'll probably think it's a joke until you feel your pulse start to slow down. But before we get to the how, we need to understand why your brain is currently acting like a grumpy landlord. We have to talk about your amygdala. Think of it as a tiny, hyper-reactive almond living in your skull that is convinced everything is a threat. Back in the day, that threat was a saber-toothed tiger. Now, it's a "we need to talk" text from your boss. When you're stressed, your brain is flooded with cortisol. It's great for running away from predators, but it's terrible for your long-term mood. To hack this, we need to manually override the system. Now, you might be asking yourself, can I really rewire your brain in just a few seconds? The answer is a resounding yes. Your brain is plastic, not like a soda bottle, but neuroplastic. It's constantly reshaping itself based on the signals you send it. If you send it stress signals all day, it gets really good at being stressed. If we start sending happiness signals, even in 15-second bursts, the architecture starts to shift. But to make that shift, you have to know which physical buttons to press. This leads us to our first hack, which involves a very specific part of your face that you're probably ignoring. The first hack is the 15-second forced smile, but with a scientific twist. Now wait, don't roll your eyes and click away yet. This isn't about faking it until you make it in a toxic way. This is about the facial feedback hypothesis. In psychology, we've found that the relationship between your brain and your muscles is a two-way street. Usually we think, I feel happy leads to, I smile. But the biology actually works in reverse too. I smile leads to, my brain assumes we must be happy. The 15-second rule, when you're feeling peak, try this. Contract your zygomatic major muscles. Those are the ones that pull the corners of your mouth up. And most importantly, your orbicularis oculi, the ones that crinkle the corners of your eyes. Hold it for exactly 15 seconds. Why 15? Because it takes about that long for the brain to register the muscular contraction and start the Duchenne response, releasing small amounts of dopamine and serotonin. You're essentially tricking the amygdala into standing down. It's like telling the grumpy landlord that the rent was paid early. It feels a bit silly, I know. You might look like a Batman villain for a second if you're doing this in an elevator, but the chemical shift is real. However, smiling is just the software update. To really lock this in, we need to address the hardware, your physical posture, which brings us to a hack that involves absolutely no movement at all. If you've ever felt a pit in your stomach when you're nervous, you've met your vagus nerve. It's the longest nerve of your autonomic nervous system, running from your brainstem all the way down to your abdomen. It's basically the information superhighway for your emotions. When we are stressed, our breathing becomes shallow and high in the chest. This tells the vagus nerve, emergency, red alert. To hack your happiness, we use the physiological sigh. This was popularized by neuroscientists at Stanford, and it is the fastest way we know to lower your autonomic arousal. How to do it? 1. Inhale deeply through your nose. 2. At the very top, when you think your lungs are full, sneak in one more tiny pop of air. 3. Exhale through your mouth very slowly for a full 10 to 15 seconds. The double inhale pops open the tiny sacs in your lungs, alveoli that collapse when we're stressed, allowing for maximum carbon dioxide offloading during that long exhale. It's the biological equivalent of hitting the refresh button on a frozen browser. You'll feel a wave of calm wash over you because you've just manually activated your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode. But what if the problem isn't just stress? What if you're just feeling empty, uninspired? That's where the third hack comes in. And it's the most powerful of the bunch because it doesn't just change how you feel, it changes how you see the entire world. We've all heard of gratitude journals. They're great, but let's be real. Sometimes you don't have time to sit down with a quill and parchment to write a sonnet about your morning oatmeal. Instead, we use the 15-second search. Our brains have something called the Reticular Activating System, RAS. It's a filter. If you decide to buy a red car, suddenly you see red cars everywhere. Your RAS is looking for them. The micro-gratitude scan is a way to program your RAS to look for happiness data. Stop what you are doing and look around the room. Find one, just one, tiny thing that is objectively good or well-designed. It could be the way the light hits a glass of water. It could be the fact that your pen actually works today. It could be the texture of your sweater. Spend 15 seconds focusing intensely on why that one small thing is a win. Psychologically, this is called savoring. It forces your brain to switch from its default problem-solving mode, which is usually problem-finding mode, to appreciation mode. When you do this consistently, you aren't just having a nice moment. You are literally training your neurons to fire together in a pattern of contentment. You are building a brain that is more efficient at finding joy than it is at finding flaws. So we have the 15-second smile, the software, the physiological sigh, the hardware, and the micro-gratitude scan, the filter. Total time investment, 45 seconds. Does this mean you'll never be sad again? No. That's called being a robot, and honestly, robots have their own problems, mostly software updates and a lack of knees. The goal here is resilience. It's about knowing that no matter how chaotic the world gets, you have a toolkit in your pocket that can shift your neurochemistry in less time than a commercial break. I want you to try one of these right now. Seriously, pick one. Smile like a maniac, take that double breath, or find one cool thing in your room. If you found this helpful and you want more ways to simplify the complex world of psychology, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We spend a lot of time on this channel looking for ways to help you take control of your mental health without the fluff. Because at the end of the day, you have the power to change your mind, literally. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Or more accurately, you'll see me. I'll just be here, probably smiling at my lukewarm coffee for 15 seconds.